All right, welcome back to Self Principle. As always, I'm Dr. Sean Hashmi. Now, last time we had talked about the role of coffee in kidney disease, and we've shown multiple studies explaining how coffee can be good in preventing acute kidney injury and also in lowering the risk of progression of chronic kidney disease. But here's the question. What about in people who don't have kidney disease, meaning healthy adults? So there's a new study published in the Annals of Internal Medicine that just got released that looked at about 170,000 adults from the United Kingdom. Now, these folks didn't have any heart disease going on, any cancer going on. They were average age of about 55.6 going on, so a little bit older going on. And what is interesting about this study is they looked at how much sugar, artificial sweeteners, or no sugar at all they were drinking. So what they found, which is similar to previous studies, is there is a sweet spot to coffee, which in most studies is about 2 to 3 cups per day, and it was similar here. So looking at all of the data together, what they showed was about 1.5 to 3.5 cups per day, whether you put sugar in it, artificial sweeteners in it, or nothing at all, was linked with a lower risk of all-cause mortality. Now, in terms of the sugar these folks were consuming, on average, regular sugar was about 1.1 teaspoons. So about 1 teaspoon, not that much. Artificial sweeteners, they were putting in about 2.1 teaspoons of artificial sweeteners going on. And what they found was that in these sugar-sweetened coffee going on, there was a 31% decrease in all-cause mortality in those who were drinking between 1.5 cups to 2.5 cups of coffee per day. Now, when they looked at folks who had no sugar in their coffee going on, so unsweetened coffee, at the range of 1.5 to 2.5 cups per day, they had about a 16% decrease in all-cause mortality. But at 2.5 to 3.5 cups per day, they had a 29% decrease in all-cause mortality. Now, before you say, well, it's okay for me to put my Splenda, stevia, etc., remember, artificial sweeteners, including stevia and Splenda and so forth, all of them, they actually stimulate your appetite. So you do want to be very careful of those going on, even though it was okay to put that in the coffee. Just remember, because of the fact that they're so much sweeter, 200 to 300 times sweeter than sugar, they can actually affect your hunger hormones. They can also affect your pleasure centers, meaning after that, good old strawberries just don't taste that sweet anymore, so they can increase your cravings for sugary foods. Now, the last part of this study, which is the most important part, is it possible to have too much coffee? Well, even in this study, the answer was yes. People who were consuming 4.5 cups of sugar-sweetened coffee per day, they actually increased their risk of all-cause mortality. So once again, the data is consistent in population studies that coffee tends to be healthier, but there's a sweet spot. Generally speaking, the sweet spot is about 2 to 3 cups per day. In this study, sweetened versus unsweetened, not too much of a difference. I still prefer it to be unsweetened. And as always, be careful about the artificial sweeteners. Thanks so much for watching. If you have any questions, drop me a line at selfprinciple@gmail.com. I'll see you next time.